Hello. On behalf of the Springfield City School District and the Springfield High School graduates and staff, I welcome you to the 2020 Springfield High School Commencement Ceremony. I am Patrick Smith, lead principal of Springfield High School. Today marks the culmination of years and years of hard work and sacrifice. Sacrifice on the part of the graduates and sacrifice for all those who support them. Springfield, as a city, stands proud today. This year's commencement ceremony is unlike any other. Current events keep us from gathering in large groups for a large communal celebration, but there remains much to celebrate. I'd like to extend a special welcome to members of the school board, Dr. Hill, and the Springfield High School staff, as well as parents, families, and friends of our graduates. Most importantly, I want to welcome and recognize our graduating seniors, the class of 2020. We are all incredibly proud of you. Today, we are proud to present nearly 450 potential graduates. Our students have made a difference in our school and for those who live in our community. In athletics, academics, performance, and service, the class of 2020 has excelled and met evolving demands. Many of our seniors have earned college credit while attending Springfield High School, and we expect that more than half of our graduates are headed for various institutions of higher learning. Our students are attending some of the nation's most prestigious colleges and universities. Our students are supporting the workforce. Our students are pledging their service to our country by enlisting in the armed services. 39 of our students are graduating today with honors diplomas. Springfield High School seniors have earned thousands of dollars in scholarships and other funding offers. Our graduates have collected thousands of dollars for charity, volunteered in the community, and have even donated units of their own blood. Blood donors are recognized by the red cords they are wearing today. Please join me in celebrating the many accomplishments of the Springfield High School class of 2020 in this unique ceremony. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose rough stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red bells bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Principal Smith, Dr. Hill, teachers, parents, and students. My name is Asila Ashraf, and I am the senior class president. Now, Those of you who know me know that I like to read, like a lot. And you also know, like any sane person, the first thing I do when I open a book is turn to the last page. I think I do this because I can't handle not knowing what's going to happen. I'm always trying to instantly find out what's meant to be learned gradually, no matter how much of a spoiler it may be. Over the years, I've learned to treat life the same way. I always have to be 10 steps ahead. For example, take freshman year. Once I was elected class president, I'd already flipped to the final page in my mind. It went like this. It was a sunny day, and we all looked resplendent in blue, our tassels blowing in the gentle wind. I'd crack a joke in the beginning of my speech, hopefully hear you laugh and see parents in the bleachers wiping their tears as they looked upon their children. But now, I'm in a nearly empty room with a camera to my face. Sure, it's a lot less pressure, but this isn't how it was supposed to go. That last page has been ripped out of our book. Torn edges are all that are left. I'm now forced to read each page, each line, each day as it comes. I can't flip to the end of the story. I don't know what will happen next. I don't know what will come out of this. I don't know. But there are some things I do know. I know that I'm now a high school graduate. But what does that mean? Is this just another line on my resume? Am I just the words on that paper? An ACT score? A college acceptance? If yes, is that who I want to be? If not, who does that make me? In a world that is constantly turning us into numbers and statistics, I don't want us to be limited by that. We are our own individuals, writing the next chapters of our lives, a culmination of experiences and moments shaping our being into who we'll be in the future. I also know that this piece of paper we get that marks us as high school graduates doesn't make us special. It doesn't make us different. It may bear witness to the last 4 years of our lives. It's evidence of grit and hard work, yes. But most of all, should serve as a reminder to keep proving to ourselves that we are doing something. Present tense, doing. Not that we did something, but a constant reminder that we should continue struggling, continue looking for our next adventure. Some people have told me that this is not the end, it's only the beginning. But what have we been doing for the past 18 years for this to be the beginning? Don't worry about when things begin or when things end. Worry about what's in between, those middle pages. It's the time in between that shapes us, that changes us. I hope that the sudden outbreak of this global pandemic is teaching us something. I hope that we realize that we don't live in our plans for the future, because what is the future but a construct of our minds, an abstract romanticization of what we want our lives to be. We must live now, in the present. Embrace the ambiguity that the future holds, but do not dwell on it. Gilda Radner said it best. I wanted a perfect ending, but now I've learned the hard way that some poems don't rhyme, and some stories don't have a clear beginning, middle, and end. Life is about not knowing, having to change, taking the moment and making the best of it, not knowing what's going to happen next. Delicious ambiguity. So take each day as it comes, and marvel in the mystery of tomorrow. There are no requirements now, except for the ones you want to have. There are no expectations except for the ones you set. We must move forward. We have no other choice. We watched a documentary in English class about Toni Morrison. And she explained how for so long she was looking for the perfect story. But the more she read, the more she realized that what she was looking for didn't exist until she wrote it for herself. For all of our lives, we've been able to read our stories, and now we have to write them. Congratulations, class of 2020. Thank you.
I would like to start off by thanking my fellow students, along with all of the teachers, parents, and staff that have made these past 4 years possible. I know that this is not how anyone planned on ending their senior year, and that we've missed out on a lot of our senior experiences, but life happens, so we'll just have to try and make the most of it. Because of our circumstances, we've had a lot of free time on our hands. For some, that means binge watching TV shows or taking long walks. And for others, that means taking the time to learn a new hobby. The hobby that I've picked up is making bread, and my family certainly enjoys this new hobby. I've learned that making bread is a lot like life. You have to let it rise, and that means giving it time to repair and pull together. I like to think of high school as a rising period. We're growing and developing as individuals, and a lot of that is personal growth. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about personal growth and how much I have changed through high school. I was really nervous when I first came to Springfield High, as many of us were. This was a new experience, and we weren't quite sure what we were doing. But we took new classes, joined new clubs and sports, and we've made lifelong friends. We've done a lot of rising in the past 4 years. I know that some of us look back in embarrassment at who we were 4 years ago. We cringe at how we styled our hair, or the clothes we wore, or even how we acted. But that was the beginning of an important period of growth. We've tripped, we've fallen, we've made more mistakes than we're willing to admit, and we've done embarrassing things that keep us up at night, and still, we keep on going. Because striving for perfection the first time in life is not realistic, just like bread making. Because striving for perfection the first time in life is not realistic, just like in bread making. But with each attempt, we get better. We have changed so much in the past 4 years. We should be proud of how much we've grown and know that we are going to grow so much more, because even bread has a second period of rising. Now here we stand, ready to move on to the next period of rising, whether that be work, college, or an unknown adventure. I, like many of you, am heading off to college. I have always been told that college is where you find yourself, that there will be a massive period of growth and discovery. And at first I was confused. I didn't think that I had changed much, so how could I change much more? But we see ourselves every day, and as we know, watched dough does not seem to rise. So we have to take a step back and remember that change often happens gradually. We have been rising and changing for the last 4 years. I like to think of college as the second period of rising, and it's in this next step that the dough is shaped, but know that that is not its final shape. So I cannot wait for the next 4 years. Remember that life is like making bread. You have to allow for a period of rising. And finally, to the class of 2020, good luck on your second rising. Thank you.
Good morning and congratulations to the class of 2020. While today is about celebrating our accomplishments, I think we all realize that none of us got here alone. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of our teachers, administrators, parents, and families for your support throughout the years. Reflecting on our past year together as a class, it's easy to recall many great moments. Our football team made it to the Division I state semifinals. We had an amazing homecoming dance, and our senior class emerged victorious from a very entertaining powder puff game. But when I asked myself what I will remember most about our time together, I realized it's not the big events like homecomings and football games that meant the most to me, but rather a few seemingly insignificant moments. The one that came to mind immediately was a cold, late-night bus ride home from the Northmont swim meet with a bus driver that liked to have the radio turned up. Not surprisingly, the country song blaring from the radio was not to our liking, and it wasn't long before a music war erupted. One of our teammates started playing what we considered to be more appropriate music, and we all rallied behind him to ensure we would win, even if it meant singing along at the top of our lungs. What bothered me about this realization is that it wasn't until several months later, looking back, that I appreciated how happy that moment made me and how much the people I shared it with meant to me. When it was actually happening, I didn't take the time to acknowledge it and really allow myself to be happy. And if I'm only realizing it after the fact, then I missed my opportunity to truly feel happy, because we don't live in the past, we live in the here and now. I was reminded of a quote by Kurt Vonnegut. If you've never heard of him, please don't feel left out. I wouldn't know who he is either had I not been foolish enough to subject myself to Miss Beester's IB English class. The setting for Vonnegut's quote is quite ordinary. A beautiful summer afternoon, two older men sitting under the shade of an apple tree, drinking lemonade while chatting casually. Suddenly, one of the men interrupts the other and says, "Well, if this isn't nice, I don't know what is." The meaning behind Vonnegut's famous quote is ridiculously simple. Notice when you are happy and allow yourself to experience it. Too often in life, we consume ourselves with focusing on the negatives, so busy complaining about the way things are that we completely miss the good moments. The end of our senior year is a perfect example. Canceled sports seasons, no prom, no senior night, and I could go on and on. But even amid these disappointments and setbacks, there are numerous opportunities to be happy if we simply take the time to notice them. For me personally, this extra time has allowed me to rediscover my love for running, and as much as I hate to admit it, I even enjoy the nightly family euchre games I've been forced to endure. While these euchre games often involve a fair amount of yelling, arguing, and sometimes even blatant cheating, they afford me with a sense of belonging. And I'm thankful that I have noticed how special this time is together now, instead of years down the road when I have my own life and it's just a distant memory. Even during times of worry and uncertainty like this, we should continually challenge ourselves to truly embrace the good moments. So as we head out into this world to pursue our future, I hope we can remember that happiness isn't the prize waiting for us at the end, some unattainable state of being only to be felt once we have reached our ultimate goal. Happiness is something we can find in the countless moments along the way. We only need to be willing to recognize it when it is happening. Thank you, and best of luck to the class of 2020.
Today is the day you worked towards for 13 years. Today, you are officially a 2020 graduate of Springfield High School. It is nothing like you hoped, not even close to your vision and dreams. But I commend you. You've shown maturity, you remained hopeful, and as I noted to you before, you've moved forward with grace. By moving forward with love, kindness, mercy, favor, and disposition, you have grown as young adults to benefit and serve each other, your family, and your community. You have rolled with the punches, taken your final assignment and responsibilities seriously. You've displayed the deepest sense of Cat pride, and you have done it all with grace. Today, I ask that each of you reflect on your memories because they are the collective movie of your life, a game tape or resume of sorts. Memories are something that even a pandemic cannot take away from you. Do you remember your first day of kindergarten? The excitement that you felt when your mom, dad, grandma, or grandpa hugged you goodbye? Walking through the doors of that huge building called Simon Kenton or Lincoln or Horace Mann. Probably the biggest building you had ever visited in your young life. I know that your family was nervous and filled with angst as you walked out the door or stepped onto the big yellow bus for the first formal steps of your journey towards graduation. And I also know that each person in your life beamed with pride, knowing that you were bound for greatness. Do you remember singing your first song in front of the huge crowd of people to celebrate a holiday? The smiles on the faces of each member of the audience, the applause. Everyone knew you were bound for greatness. And then the elementary school years ended and you moved to a new world called middle school. Do you recall walking through the doors of Hayward, Roosevelt, Schaefer? The same doors that your mom, your dad, your grandma or grandpa walked through so many years ago. The physical building may have changed, but the name and tradition is the same. The middle school's years flew by, right? Didn't they? You woke up, rolled over, and you were in high school. It was almost like magic. You walked through the doors of Springfield High School, the largest building in the district, with almost 1,800 of your fellow students. Do you remember the first GWalk basketball championship? The legendary playoff run for the Wildcat football team? The mock trial championship? Choir and band concerts? Hanging out with friends? Late night study sessions? I promise you that I remember each of those events, and I will remember each of you. I am so proud of you all. Your patience and maturity has been reassuring. Your ability to put things into perspective and realize that the health of our entire city, state, and nation is more important than the rites of passage that you missed. You have become great citizens. You are ready to go into the world and succeed. You are ready to attend college, leave for basic training, or begin employment. You are ready without a prom, ready without graduation in the stadium, and ready without award ceremonies and senior night. In closing, as you move on to the next greatest thing, remember, once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat. It is a bond like no other and an honor to experience. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
On behalf of the Springfield City School District Board of Education, congratulations to the Springfield High School class of 2020. Welcome, graduates, as you close one chapter in your book of life and open the next. Congratulations to those who you have chosen to be by your side today and all who have loved you unconditionally. Today, they will join us in celebrating and cheering you on to your next steps. This probably isn't how you envisioned your graduation playing out, nor is it what we had planned for you. For years, you imagined what your senior year would look like. The last prom, the last game, final projects, and just spending time with friends you have known most of your life. Many of you and your parents have felt sad, frustrated, and disappointed, and we understand. But as you move into the new job, start college, enlist in the military, I want you to remember this feeling and use it as motivation to obtain your goals. You will have many opportunities in the future. Never take moments for granted. As we have seen this year, tomorrow, the next season, the next game, the next race is not promised to anyone. Stay in the moment. Take every pitch, every at-bat, step up to every race and every goal as if it were your last. Each one of you has proven to be strong, resilient, and flexible. You have had to adapt like no other class before you. You have, without knowing it, already started the next chapter in your young adult life, and each of you has handled it with such grace in class. We are so proud of you. Know this, that you are strong and have the power to enrich and deepen your life and the life of others. Regardless of your age, experience, the state of the economy, the job market, or where you chose to further your education, your success is determined by the choices that you make. Do not waste your energy or precious time worrying about what the next person is doing. Do not wait for next month or next year to become involved in this game called life. Do not allow those around you with their can't-do attitude to help determine your destiny or future. Never give anyone else the power to dictate who you are and what you will be. You do you. Let's make this day, this moment, both a day of celebration and a day that you embrace challenge. Look back with pride at all that you have accomplished, while looking forward with confidence in the talents and abilities you have gained during your time at Springfield High School. Use all of your creativity and energy to find a way to be a service to others and your community, whether it is here in the city of Springfield or somewhere else. We believe in you, and we know you will become a positive difference maker. This will have made us and your parents and family very proud, and that is all we can ask of you. Congratulations, class of 2020. This is your book. Be a great author.
Dr. Hill, I hereby certify to you that the graduating class of 2020 for Springfield High School has met the prescribed requirements of the United States Department of Education, Advanced Ed Accreditation, the Ohio Department of Education, and the Springfield Board of Education policies for graduation from high school. Each graduate is prepared to receive the appropriate diploma.
Graduates, please join me to move your tassels. When I give the word, move your tassels from right to left. Graduates, move your tassels.
Hello, I'm Kathy Lee, Principal of Student Affairs. It is my pleasure to introduce for the first time the class of 2020. I know this is not the graduation you are expecting, but one thing about this graduation that hasn't changed is that it marks the end of your high school career. And I'm proud to introduce you not as students, but as alumni of Springfield High School. Again, congratulations, class of 2020.
Congrats, class of 2020!